Today I'm going to be doing some work on my hornbeam forest. I can't move it though, so I've got some manpower in, my brother. That was my brother Rick. He thought he was coming round for a game of snooker, which we are. We're going to go for a game tonight. But I thought while he's here, I'll be able to do some work on this. I built this group planting earlier this year and there's about 20 trees in it. They ranged in price from I think £1 to £2. So it only cost me about 30 quid to put together. And I want it to look like the inside of a forest as I look through with all the trunks. But I also want it to have the canopy like a copse of tree on sort of the top of a hill. So come and have a closer look. As you can see here, there's some low branches that are sort of getting in the way of the main image of the trunks. So I'm going to remove these first of all. So these branches down here, I don't want. This one here is too low as well. I did very little pruning on this tree when these were first planted. I just put them in and sort of wanted them just to get as healthy as possible. But now, anything which is obscuring that design and stopping me from seeing through, I want to get rid of. So as I'm just sort of working my way through now, just removing all these bits that won't survive anyway. I was a little bit unsure at first about mounting it on this turntable, whether it would be stable enough, but it seems to be doing perfectly. It's not in any danger of toppling over anyway. Oh yeah, I'm really liking it now. Now that these lower branches are being removed, because it's definitely clearing up that kind of vision that I have. That's gone really nicely now. I've created that lovely line underneath. My next job is to remove some of these lower leaves to really kind of make that line clean. You might have noticed on this tree there are some quite burnt, crispy leaves. I'm not exactly sure what's causing this. I think it could be a bit of wind burn. The rest of the tree seems really healthy, but there's just these spotted around the edge. As well as removing these crispy brown leaves, I want to start creating the canopy and the shape of this copse. So I'm really going to just curve it as if I was curving one large broadleaf tree. I'm not going to be too technical with this. I'm just sort of hedge pruning in the Walter Paul style, just taking the tops off. Overall, I'm really happy with how that's taken shape. My major problem is this tree here. This is sticking out too much, so I'm losing that kind of effect. So I do think this has to be chopped. Let's just get rid of that. Bite the bullet, it had to go. And I think I'll add a piece of wire to put that in this position. Beech trees, they're quite stubborn, so I'm going to use a fairly thick piece of wire here. I've got nothing else to attach it to, so it's just going round the trunk. A couple of times like that, just to get a bit of grip. And then as it comes up to the top here, I'll just wrap it around this side branch, which is going to become the new leader like that. Perfect. Really happy with that. I did contemplate cutting this branch off, but now that I've done this work over on this side, wiring this tree, I think this is going to come up here, and that'll actually be in quite a nice position there. So what I'll do is I'll wrap this around the trunk like that, and then I'll come up over. This is thick wire for a branch this thick, but it means that I don't have to coil it particularly tightly. I can do a fairly loose coil and then move that branch up into the position I want it, which is kind of coming slightly towards us but filling this space. That's ideal. Now that I've bent this branch up, I've got an awkward shaped one here that doesn't really fit in with the style. I'm going to leave this to add strength and to help this wound to seal up, so that can be cut off next year. This is the sort of image of the trunks that I wanted, and you can see quite clearly now. So I just wanted to show you this. And overall, I could not be happier with how this group's progressing. I think it's looking great. Thanks for joining me as always, and I'll see you soon.